It's not going anywhere. Hey, everybody. It is September 16th, Thursday. I have to say, one of the more interesting parts about having done this channel is revisiting my past, because I never thought about what I've done, really ever. I just, to me, the most important thing is what am I doing today? What am I doing tomorrow? So I've never really dwelled on the past until this channel started, and I had to take a look at my discography and my history in order to show different periods of it, different artists I've worked with, different kinds of music, showing playing along, doing, all the different things, or just enjoying tracks along with you. Many times I don't play along, and it's not for laziness. It's for the fact that what took place in the studio was really that moment in time, and to sit here and try to relearn the bass part just to play along with it will not capture the magic that happened when we were in the studio. So there are times where I really love playing along, and the songs are fine for that. And there's other times where I'd really rather sit by and just kind of check it out and see what the hell I was doing, what was I thinking, but also just kind of reflecting on the different artists and the different people that I've worked with over the years. And so as I do my daily forensics of digging through things, I found another little gem that I had no memory of at all. And as soon as I started hearing it, I went, oh God, yeah. And it was an artist. We did this back in 1974. Now, this was really like after James Taylor hit. We were working like crazy with singer-songwriters. Jackson Brown, Casey Kelly, all these the tremendous amount of singer-songwriters were getting signed by labels. Jimmy Spheris, there's so many, Turley Richards. And this was another one of those singer-songwriters of that period. And his name, another Lyle Swedeen is his name, and we did an album called Sunshine Inside, and this is 1974. And the band on this was wonderful. It was myself, David Kemper on drums, Tony Peluso on guitar, and I believe Tony passed away a number of years ago. I used to do a lot of work with him, and I think I saw something a long time ago that he had passed. Mike Stewart and Lyle Swedeen on acoustic guitars, and the great Larry Knechtel on keyboards. And once again, Larry is no longer with us. And it's just, it always breaks my heart. Carol Willis, Julia Walters, and Laura Willard are the background singers. And if memory serves me right, Carol ended up marrying Larry Mahobarak, who was one of the great keyboard players that I ever worked with. He was one of the finest, because I think when I met her the first time, well, I met her here, but I think I got to be around her when she was Carol Willis Mahobarak. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% positive, but that seems to ring a bell. And the record was produced by Jackie Mills, so I did lots of work with back in the 70s. Now, Jackie's no longer with us. Apparently, Lyle passed away in 2013. So many of these get pretty emotional, because you're realizing these are all these people that were a part of your life, and they're no longer, with us. But the music is still here, and that's one of the things that I find so wonderful about music is the fact that it will go on forever, even after the person is gone. It's a trip. It's an emotional trip to go on. But every day I was looking through, and I was remembering that I had done an album with the wonderful Sally Kellerman, who was Hot Lips in the original MASH movie, and she's a great torch singer. I'm still trying to find any of the stuff from that record. A lot of this stuff, I can find it, but it's hard to dig up. Like when I think about, people like Anthony Newley, and worked with oh God, there's so many. When I look in Wikipedia, or All Music or whatever the hell the sites are, I see a lot of stuff, but it's really only about 2/3 of what I've worked on. There's so many projects that aren't listed that were great projects that I'm really just going to have to keep digging deep, because I don't intend to stop this until you all say enough is enough. We're moving on to some new young cats or whatever. But for the moment, I'm going to play a couple of tracks I did on this album called Sunshine Inside by Lyle Swedeen. Here's one that's called Horace Greeley. So here we go, some Lyle.
Cooling my heels at that freeway on ramp. I done lost my poncho, so I'm gonna get real damn. Might get busted or maybe worse, and I'm losing my desire to see America first. 3 big credit cards to cash a little check. Hawks and doves running neck to redneck. Penny a minute if you wanna park your car, and they close the park, and I will be for dark. And I'm pulling my heels at that freeway on ramp. I done lost my poncho, so I'm gonna get real damn. Might get busted or maybe worse, and I'm losing my desire to see America first. My fellow countrymen, they're treating me like dirt, 'cause I get some flag-colored shoes and a shirt. Gonna wear my skin in the privacy of hell, 'cause they won't even serve me at a pizza bell. And I'm pulling my heels at that freeway on ramp. I done lost my poncho, so I'm gonna get real damn. Might be busted or maybe worse, and I'm losing my desire to see America first. Thought what I was living through just couldn't get much worse. Set my thumb pointing for the universe. 40 days and 40 nights won't take you very far. Every time we fix our charities from someone else's car. And I'm pulling my heels at that freeway on ramp. Done lost my poncho, so I'm gonna get real damn. Might get busted or maybe worse, and I'm losing my desire to see America first. So I'm gonna get real damn. Might get busted or maybe worse, and I'm losing my desire to see America first. Yes, I'm losing my desire to see America
Yeah. So much of the stuff we were cutting during that period really did have that West Coast country vibe that became the Eagles and Poco and the Flying Burrito Brothers and all the groups out of that evolved from this movement. And it was really fun. It was just, there was nothing though like being in the studio. First off, this was pre-click, so we just went in, learned songs, counted them off, and played them. And there's a freedom and a joy that comes with that kind of ebb and flow, the breathing of a band all together in the studio. We were cutting to tape all the time. It was no digital world at that point, and we had the the joy of just being in a room and looking around at other amazing players, and everybody just finding parts and comes together, and you nailed them. You nailed them fast. Here's another song from that album called "Can't Dance Without Music." Here we go.
If I had my way, I would make you understand. I just can't stay waiting for your next command. I can't love you without knowing you, and I can't know you without love. You just got no good. You want me and then walk away. You're not sure, honey, and there's not much more that I can say. Does it hurt now when you're lost in time, and I'm the one holding the key? You just got to know that I can't dance without music. Does it hurt now when you're lost in time, and I'm the one holding the key? But you just got to know that I can't dance without music. I spent some time on learning that one good love is all I need. And I can't tell where you're coming from, or if I'm the one to set you free. And in the long run, I won't let you down. You won't see me come apart. You just got to know that I can't dance without music. It's gotta have music. Sweet, sweet, sweet soul. Sweet, sweet, oh, gotta have music. Sweet, sweet, that's sweet soul. Gotta have music.
Now when you hear the piano intro on this,
If I had my
now that's Larry Knechtel playing piano, who played the piano on Bridge Over Troubled Water. He was also the bass player on Mr. Tambourine Man. He was an amazing, amazing musician. He was in Bread, the group Bread, and but he was one of the Wrecking Crew, and he was one of my earliest compatriots in the studio world. When we first met, I did lots and lots of sessions with Larry, and it was always a treat. And he was an amazing keyboard player to play with. He sat kind of side saddle with his legs crossed, hardly ever touched pedals on the piano. And I remember he had a studio up in upstate Washington, kind of near the Canadian border, and that was where we went up and did Barry McGuire's record. And he hadn't played in ages, and when we got there, he was out baling hay out in his fields. And then we got into the studio, and he sat down and burned. He was so good. You know, it was like his one door shut, the hay baler shut, the monster pianist opened up. And it was just always a joy to be around him. And I did lots of records with David Kemper, who's still around playing his ass off on drums. So, it's always emotional for me because there's so many stories. I mean, I could sit here all day talking about all this stuff with different musicians I've worked with because we've been such a integral part of each other's lives. It's a pretty remarkable journey that we're all on. So, but I got another song to do. I sent off stuff yesterday that I recorded, waiting to hear back if it's okay. You never know. I mean, this is the beauty of being in the studio, is you do something and a decision's made right on the spot. Here at home, when I'm working for people, I end up doing like 3 passes on a song and sending it off with slightly different feels because I really don't know what they want ultimately until they hear it. And so I'm waiting to hear back on a couple things, and I have another track to do. And it's nice today, though. Just took the boys for a walk, and it's not a lot cooler, but it's quite a bit cooler than it was when it was roasting. So it was kind of pleasant to be outside and not sweating and watching the dogs' tongues hanging out as long as their ears. I don't like putting them through that. So I'm going to get going here. I'm trying to think if there was anything else I needed to mention. I heard a rough mix of something that I just did with Kenny Aronoff and Tim Pierce, and we aren't allowed to talk about it yet. It's for something, and until they decide to use it, we're told that mum's the word. But it so kicks ass. It's unbelievable. As soon as I got it, I called Tim and I called Kenny, and I just said, guys, I said, this is really amazing. We're all writing to each other going, holy crap, this really turned out great. So that was really exciting. So I think I'm going to get some work done. I might be meeting Blue, my book partner, for some lunch. He's got some meetings, and then he said maybe he'll swing by and we'll catch up on things. We haven't seen each other in a couple of weeks now, and things the way schedules have been. And at this point, I'm so tired of, just kind of sitting here going, please do. I mean, do the right thing. Get vaccinated. It breaks my heart that there's this small element of our society that's making this such a game and holding everybody else in the economy and our lives hostage at this. I was listening to the radio yesterday, and there were some interviews with nurses who are completely burned out at this point, going on 2 years of them just pouring their heart and soul and their emotions into helping save people. And a bunch of them said they're through, they're done at this point, because it was so important to them when they were trying to save lives, when there was no vaccine, and then the vaccine came along and things were looking good. And now the hospitals are filling up with all these people, and 99% of the people in the hospitals are unvaccinated. And they're laying there on their deathbed saying, can I get my vaccine now? And these people are saying, look, when people needed it, we're here for them. But the fact that there's people that are just ignoring the thing that'll save their lives for whatever reason they're doing, they said they're burned. They have to leave at this point. It's just too much madness going into it. So just do it. God, there's nothing to this. I mean, it potentially can save your life. I mean, what's more important than that, than saving your life? I mean, than some crazy political agenda or something. So please, please, please be smart about this. Save yourself, save your families, your neighborhood, your friends, and the world. So much of this world hasn't even they're begging for vaccines and trying to get them, and they want them so bad. And here we sit with surpluses, and people are going, no, I'm not going to do it. And it's really sad. So thank you to all you people that are working so hard trying to break through this wall of kind of ignorance that's taken place in this country. And it's just terrible. It breaks my heart because it's so unnecessary. We have an incredible history of vaccinations going back, 100 years of eradicating really terrible diseases and stuff. And suddenly this is the one everybody's taken. Not everybody, it's a small part of the society that's taking a stand against this, but their stand is affecting everybody. And I don't know. I've said it before, and I long for the day I can only do music on these and not spend any time, but my heart goes out to all the people that are making such a profound effort every day to save lives, and now the frustration that they're feeling when they're having to deal with people who don't have to be there in that ER and taking up a bed of somebody else who really needs it. So it's tough. Okay. My soapbox is tucked away till tomorrow, and I'm going to go take care of some stuff I have to do here, and then I will see you all tomorrow. So just take good care, please. You're all valuable, so let's do the right thing. Okay, bye-bye.